Right, one.
I'm very concerned that Dr. Judge hasn't considered the German research findings. Professor Carlo has actually done a summary of 1,500 studies in Russia, looking at EMFs and returning to EMFs. There are plenty of studies. I'm drowning in the stuff because I'm getting them all the time and I can't translate them all. And they all show effects, similar to those effects Dr. Carlo has mentioned. But there seems to be nobody who is able to translate it in this country.
I'll let you come back. Yes.
My name is Tom East, and I live on the base stations of Hutchison, Orange, and Vodafone. I went on the roof the other day, you're not supposed to. My blood pressure afterwards went down to 117, 70. The next day it was 180, 120. I'm just wondering, does it have an effect on the heart when you go up there?
Okay, and Ms. Julian, yes.
I'm a householder, and in our community there's masks getting put up all the time, and we're constantly fighting the masks. My son and I have got burn damage, and I want Dr. Chalice to tell me that I am safe in my house.
Right, and the woman behind, please, yes.
I'm just going to make the point that in this country we have a huge resistance to this process benefit. And there's too much reliance on the word of science at the moment and not enough epidemiological studies of the environment.
Yes.
And people, the public, like Sylvia and many other people in this room, have come up against the planning board in this country over and over and over again, which sends them round and round in circles because at the moment the public is not being safeguarded by our planning authorities because they are not, for some reason, the legislation to change to full planning rather than full provisional isn't being taken seriously. And furthermore, I've come across local councils are very ill-informed, as are their planning departments, and they make the wrong decisions when the public confers their concerns. And the other trap that is happening in this country is that local councils fear opposing the siting of communications masts installations, because when corporations appeal against them, they have to pay the costs. And so it's a passive form of control in local authorities who fear opposition. And so what I'd like to see the government do is to enable local authorities to make independent decisions without fear, by covering, if they have to, by covering the costs of those of opposition.
Somebody would like to know who you are, please. Could I ask you to identify yourself? Sorry.
My name is Karen Mason Robertson. I made a DVD about the concerns, the issues surrounding mobile telephony in 2005.
Where are you from? Whereabouts do you work?
I'm just a member of the public.
But you live somewhere and
I live in Wiltshire.
Wiltshire, right. Okay, thank you. Well done, right. So you're on. Dr. Chalice, come on. There's been two chat.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to respond to, except perhaps just saying that it's the Health Protection Agency, it's the government, it's the medical officer who makes the decisions. I really am concerned with deciding what is the most important research we need to do. So that's my role, and to analyse, to help with others, many others, to help decide, as George Carlo said, to try and sift through the large number of papers and the huge amount of literature that comes out, and try and decide what is wrong, because it's not being replicated, what is right, and what is uncertain. If something uncertain, we try and base the research.
Well, the question was specifically about Germany, I think.
About the Russian book?
About Professor Haig's translation of the 1500
again,
studies in Russian.
that sort of review of the work will connect you to another body I'm on, but don't speak for, which is the advisory group of non-ionizing radiation of the Health Protection Agency. We review all the work that comes out about every 3 years. And if there is work that is legible to us, it's readable to us, then obviously it's included in the review. But I don't think many of us speak Russian.
Translation.
Sorry?
You don't. Why reinvent the wheel? Why don't just translate the material that is there?
Well, you better ask the Health Protection Agency, not me.
I'm sure they could get some. You do. But okay, yes, okay. Yes, and the last, the woman behind. You had a question for Dr. Charles.
Me?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. How can you possibly help us if you don't actually study us? When I've been to doctors with my health problem, my son's, all they said is, they haven't actually asked me what has caused it. They haven't even been interested.
Right.
Now, if they started to ask and I said there was maths everywhere, is that a possibility? And they say no.
We are actually...
They don't know, they don't actually know because they don't ask.
Right.
You can't even go anywhere towards helping us at all. So I want to know whether you're going to start studying people that have got actual health problems instead of...
Well, I'm not a medic, and most of the people on the committee are not medics. So we can't actually in a position to study people. What we can do is look at epidemiological study of masks. And we're doing that both by volunteer studies.
No one's asked me to volunteer, I'm sorry, but I would volunteer
It
to
has been widely advertised to volunteer in various studies that Elaine Fox is doing in Essex, and the lady over there was speaking about the sheep on it. Now, as far as epidemiological studies are concerned, we are also doing an epidemiological study of young children from masks. One of the big difficulties about studying masks is that if a disease is caused, it's probably caused 10 years or more before. Cancer takes at least 10 years after leukemia to appear. So what you need to know is what are the exposure of somebody at some unknown time, about 10 years ago. Masks will have changed, the person's house will have changed, their work may have changed, people travel. The only thing you can do at the moment is with young children, because they're more housebound and leukemia appears in a relatively short time. What we are doing though, and they've already spent money on, I think rightly, is a personal exposure meter. And that will tell us the exposure that somebody carrying this meter will do from all sources. So GSM, UNTS, Tetra, radio, television, etc. And we're trying that, we intend to carry on doing that in the hope that in the future we can do an epidemiological study of masks. Until we can do that, I think there's anything to do of epidemiology of masks.
Right,
Well,
okay.
actually,
You can have a fight with them afterwards, okay?
I just wanted to answer the question I asked in the first place. Can he reassure me that I'm completely safe from getting leukemia?
I can't
Because
reassure
I'm
anybody
actually
that they're safe from
You
this.
can't. No, it's been very honest, you can't.
Impossible.
No, but he knows that it will contribute to any further illness I have.